32 FM 94.9, filling the world with laughter. It's the 11th of May 2023, and of course it is 6:30 on the DOT. You're welcome to the Break of Dawn Papers Review. I am DENIKE Ademuago.
And I'm Kenny Durutsilu. Good morning to you out there. We'll be taking a look at the major stories coming out of newspapers as always. And of course, we'll bring you the analysis and take your reactions to the headlines as well this morning. I have with me the Premium Times, the Guardian newspaper, and the Tribune newspaper.
I also have with me the Daily Post, the Nation, the Punch, and the first story from the Punch newspaper. I'm going straight to the major story here. It says Senate presidency descent in APC. Aspirants demand fresh zoning formula. And they are right as to that. APC zoning creating tension cannot guarantee unity. Izunaso warns. North Central senators, write APC chairman, decry zoning exclusion. And we move to other stories on the Punch. Subsidy. Buhari seeks approval of $800 million palliative loan. Trouble looms over rising debt. Budget office warns. Ex-power minister arrested over alleged 22 billion naira fraud. Some more stories from the Punch. 4 men on trial for killing cousin. To the red corner, Lagos arraigns Eze Indigbo for terrorism. NNPCL needs huge investment to meet demand. This is coming from Dangote. And some more stories here. Says CIBN chairman plans revenue drive, welfare. Bank guard shot, vehicles burnt in Anambra sit at home. Oil production now 1 million barrels lower daily. This is coming from the federal government. I take two more stories from the Punch and we move to another paper. This one says police arraign a Ekiti man for stealing 80,000 naira phone. And finally, foundation to empower 2,000 students in Lagos. I think that's an editorial from the Punch newspaper.
From the Premium Times newspapers, you have this one. EFCC detains Buhari's former minister. That's the major one you find. The speakership, Wase Betara. Others visit Adamu. Protest selection of Abbas. Now, El Rufai, Sanusi, Saludo speak on fuel subsidy removal, fiscal sustainability. There's another one there. Buhari writes Senate seeks approval of $800 million loan from the World Bank. Court bars NBC from imposing fines on Nigeria broadcast stations. Court dismisses another petition challenging Tinubu's victory. FEC approves 3.4 billion naira for Abuja Airport second runway, 449.9 million naira for master plan of 17 airports. Nigeria needs to spend $100 billion annually for infrastructure. Official. Police arrests officials of Navy, Nigerian Correctional Service for alleged robberies. Another headline from the Premium Times. Why Southeast can't get Senate presidency. Can't get Senate presidency. I'll take that again. Why Southeast can't get Senate presidency. ACF Chieftain. Another headline from the Premium Times you find this morning is this one. 10th NAS leadership, Governor Akeredolu condemns APC zoning arrangement, calls for fairness, equity. And lastly, from the Premium Times newspapers this morning, again, court adjourns Peter Obi's petition against Tinubu.
Let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. Lagos government seals off 12 Banana Island houses. Some more stories says state failed to access 46 billion naira education funds. There's a rider to that. UBEC deploys in action. Tinubu in Europe on investment drive. Dangote, Elumelu, rate NNPCL high in performance. And some more stories. Federal government explains signing big contracts at tail end of tenure. Why annual budget failed to perform. Buhari seeks Senate's nod for $800 million loan. And some more stories says tribunal dismisses another party's petition against Tinubu and APC. APC pledges revisit of zoning amid lawmakers protest. And there's a rider to that says Adamu pacifies aggrieved aspirants for speaker. More complaints trail recommendation on National Assembly leadership. Akeredolu calls for neck intervention. And I think that's the much from the Nation this morning.
All right, over to the Guardian newspaper. Shell wins legal case, over Nigeria oil spill. is the headline there. Nigeria amid a 168% traffic hike in 8 years, Nigerians pay premium for unavailable electricity. Elsewhere, non-oil exporters receive 144 billion naira rebate in 14 months. That's on the business side of things there from the Guardian newspaper. The major story from the Guardian this morning has to do with Tinubu departing Nigeria for Europe to meet with investors, fine-tune transition plans. That's the news we're receiving this morning. Tribunal adjourns Obi's petition against Tinubu till May 17. NCC sanitizes Oyo traders on effective data usage. Atiku mourns late PDP chieftain Adagunodo. There's another headline there. Ebonyi denies imposing tax on Pedan. I'll take some more from the editorial side of things there from the Guardian newspaper. Tackling menace of cultism, gangsterism in Rivers State. And another one here, Efficacy Construction Company appoints record-setting stockbroker at its chairman board of director.
And taking a look at the Daily Post newspaper, 10th NAS speakership. Don't expect us to be loyal if your preferred choice stands. G7 tells APC. 22 billion naira fraud. The FCC arrests ex-power minister Saleh Maman. And some more. Oshu Supreme Court judgment. Southeast youths congratulate Governor Adeleke. Ekiti. Oyebanji's wife seeks improved attention on basic education. To the sports corner, Plateau United fined 2.5 million naira, lose 3 points, 3 goals for assault on referee. FEC okays 129.8 billion naira for further remediation work on Ogoni cleanup water scheme. I'm proud of my relationship with you, Buhari tells Awujale. Court rules in suit seeking to stop Buhari from delegating powers to control NDDC. Why Tinubu must not meddle in 10th NAS leadership tussle at Lancha. FEC policy to regulate dairy industry in Nigeria scales approval. 10th Assembly Speakership Abbas Kalu moved to pacify aggrieved contestants. Lack of adequate arms, logistics affecting our fight against insurgency. Niger CP. Zamfara NLC TUC begin agitation for workers on paid 2-month salary. And of course, we move to another paper in just a bit. This one says opposition impersonating obedience to attack, insult eminent Nigerians. Peter Obi cries out.
All right, from the Nigerian Tribune this morning, fuel subsidy. Buhari seeks Senate approval for fresh $800 million World Bank loan. Yinka Odumakin's mother passes at 93. So another one there. Senate mourns 47 victims of Benue attack. Akeredolu slams APC's decision to zone 10th NAS leadership position. Of course, that's generating some controversies right now. A major talking point as well. 10th NAS speakership, Betera Wase, Dugua, 4 others from G7 coalition is that headline from the Tribune newspapers this morning. We'll take some more from the Tribune newspapers before we go on a break. This morning, BVN issued in Nigeria has no expiry date. That's coming from the CBN. 19 days ago, why we are still awarding multi-billion naira contracts. That's coming from the federal government. I'm sure a lot of Nigerians want to know about that. Elsewhere in security, 7 Northwest security directors meet in Kaduna. And General Aliyu Gusau at 80 is another one from the Tribune newspapers this morning. We'll go on a commercial. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at the analysis. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
For this Naija wey we dey so, say you no hold cash no mean say wahala dey o. You wan send money to Male for Villa. Just use Momo. You want buy recharge card or data plus jollificate 15% bonus when you recharge? Just use Momo. You want pay for market where you buy? Just use Momo. You fit use Momo run plenty things without cash. As long as you get Momo account, no cash, no wahala. And it dey easy to open oh. Just dial *671# to open Momo account. Set your PIN, transfer money from your bank account inside your Momo account to make you fit dey pay for anything, send and receive money sharp because life dey simple with Momo. You go jollificate 15% bonus anytime you recharge with Momo.
My people, this na the tori of Zainab. Na better food she dey chop to take start her day. Come in, show her body with the ogbonge one, the Dion syrup of hemoglobin vitamin B12. She don dey kampe, ready to go.
Joanna.
Good morning, Zainab. That na why she dey shine well for work.
Abeg, pass me the script.
And even for play. The Dion syrup of hemoglobin get vitamin B12 and protein to help fight anemia, exhaustion and fatigue. Just knack 2 spoons of the Dion's every day and na so you go just dey sharp rapa. You fit take am direct or you fit mix am with juice. Show say you be champion. Take the Dion.
To be healthy, strong and active, I say take the Dion's.
The Dion syrup of hemoglobin vitamin B12 na the power to unleash. Make una read the product leaflet o.
Ọ̀rẹ́, orílẹ̀-èdè yìí le bẹ́ẹ̀ lówó oṣù mi ò sì ká nǹkan kan. Ìgbà tí n ó bá fi bọ́ ẹnu mẹ́sàn-án kò ní sẹ́kù nǹkan kan mọ́. Àbí ṣé màá tún wá lọ yáwó ni?
Ṣé bówó oṣù kan náà lájọ ń gbà èyí ti ṣe á jẹ́?
Òótọ́ ló sọ, àmọ́ ó dàbí ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ̀ lórí pápá ni tí ń fira rẹ̀ wí àwọn tó ń gbá tẹníìsì. Ọ̀rọ̀ tirẹ̀ yàtọ̀ pátápátá. Ṣèborí ló bọ̀ ṣe tó òbí ju ọmọ mẹ́ta lọ.
Rárá o, èmi àti ìyàwó mi la mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ ṣèpinnu lórí iye ọmọ tá a fẹ́ bí ká lè pèsè fún wọn pẹ̀lú ìgbé ayé ìrọ̀rùn tó wù wá láti gbé, oúnjẹ tó dáa tó ṣara lóore àti bá a ṣe máa rá àwọn ọmọ lọ sílé ìwé tó dáa.
Kálẹ̀mí náà ti gbọ́rọ̀ sí ọ lẹ́nu nígbà tó kọ́kọ́ gbà mí níyànjú lórí ìfètòsọ́mọ bíbí. N ò ní wà nínú wàhálà tí mo kóra mi sí yìí.
Ọ̀rẹ́ mi, ó sì lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí. Á láti kíyèsí o. Tètè kàn sí àjọ elétò ìlera tó bá wà láyìíká rẹ lónìí. O lè ní ìmọ̀ kíkún lórí oríṣi ìlànà ìfètòsọ́mọ bíbí tó wà. Ìkéde yìí wá látọ̀dọ̀ àjọ Family Empowerment Media àti Realize Africa. Fún ìbéèrè, kàn sí wa lórí òpó WhatsApp. Ìyẹn ni nọ́mbà wa 0800 0700 700 0800 0700 700. Gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tá a bá sọ, ìkọ̀kọ̀ ni yóò wà.
Oh boy, this your cough,
Baba, I don't drink medicine tire.
Self-medication? No, nah.
Wetin I go do? Hospital money no be here.
When Airtel and AXA Mansard Health Plan dey.
That's right. With the Airtel AXA Mansard Health Bundle, you get access to a doctor, medication, and hospital cover up to 100,000 naira. Dial *141*44# now to select a plan that suits you.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
There you are, riding in silence, both deep in thought. I bet you the driver think this ride shouldn't cost more, and you the passenger are sure you're overpaying. Never mind, let's just stay quiet. Or you can both download InDrive and agree on a fair price beforehand. InDrive, people driven. The InDrive online passenger transportation aggregator is not a taxi service. For more information, visit indrive.com.
Ìfẹ́ tí kò lábàwọ́n ni ìfẹ́ ìyá jẹ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sí ohun tó dùn tó bíi Indomie alájẹpọnu lákọlọ. Nítorí náà, fi ìfẹ́ hàn pẹ̀lú Indomie.
Kọ́ńbù ẹ̀kú àlejò imú gbòǹgbò ọ̀nà ẹ̀kú àlejò ẹsẹ̀. Ìbàdàn nílé Olúyọ̀lé ẹ̀kú àmójúbà Tizeti Network Limited pẹ̀lú Tizeti ìlò omi òjò lẹ́ẹ̀ máa lo ayélujára íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ní yàwàlù torí pé gbajúgbajà nílé iṣẹ́ Tizeti Network Limited nídìí ìpèsè ayélujára lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà fún ilé iṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti olókoòwò kéékèèké lábẹ́ àbúradà Tizeti ẹ lè browse kẹ́ stream kẹ́ sì tún gbá géèmù bó ṣe wù yín láì níkọ̀sẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìlànà ẹgbẹ̀lẹ́mùkú data kèé máa ṣeré ìwọ ni kó o má sọ̀fànù 12,500 naira péré lẹ́ẹ̀fi jẹ mùlá data fódìdí oṣù kan gbáko lábẹ́ àbúradà Tizeti láì níkọ̀sẹ̀ ẹ kàn sí wifi.com.ng/oyo ẹ sì lè pe 0122987886 tàbí kẹ́ ẹ tẹ àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ sí internet@wifi.com.ng ayélujára ní yàwàlù.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
It's great to have you join us. 32 FM 94.9. Welcome back. It's the Break of Dawn paper review. And yes, we're delving into the analysis right now. Of course, to do that for us this morning is Professor Olu Ojedokun. Good morning, Prof. It's great to have you join us.
So top of the day to you, and of course, a pleasure to be here.
All right, so let's start off with this one. It has to do with the borrowings that we're getting from the newspapers this morning. Now, we hear that the budget office of the Federation yesterday said Nigeria now has a limited borrowing space due to its poor debt-to-revenue ratio. That's not exactly news. Also, we're getting that President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday again urged the Senate to approve a new loan request of $800 million. Now, that has raised a lot of eyebrows right now. That apparently for the, National Social Safety Net program. That's the reason for the loan that Mr. President has given. Your reaction to that?
Just to be clear, the $800 million is still the same $800 million before, but what's lacking now is the approval from the Senate, right?
Yes, that's what's lacking. Well, I'm confused. Well, not confused. I think I'm perplexed. This government has how many weeks to go? Next year? The government's going next year, are they?
They're not going next
They're
year.
going at the end of this month, aren't
yes,
they?
It's 18 days.
18 days. I mean, I wanted to be sure of that, because a government has 18 days and they want to commit this country to another bundle of loans, you understand, $800 million to be precise from that point of view. I'm not suggesting that we may not need it, but a few points I want to make. First and foremost is that our capacity to borrow is hampered and is reduced. And probably the reason why we are even stopping subsidy is because we don't even have the money, and that's why we're having to borrow. So I don't buy all this safety net stuff. I don't buy all this 5,000 to households and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, we have to look at the health of the economy, and we have to look at what the succeeding government is going to be able to do. Right. By borrowing 800 million, what they're doing is they're narrowing the room for maneuver for the next government, the government president-elect, to even be able to operate. And I would have expected that a government who has less than 3 weeks to go, or about 3 weeks to go, would begin to dial it down. Or are they operating in tandem with the president-elect? I'm not so sure. So you begin to ask the question, what really is the philosophy of this government's economic policy? And I think the philosophy has always been clear. Borrow, borrow, borrow until you can no longer borrow. And the country can't survive on that principle. And why not? Because the more you borrow, the more your status, your borrowing ability lessens. Not just because of the capacity, but in terms of the interest you pay. You understand? If you borrow so much, the interest you pay also goes up, from that point of view, and you're unable to get access to cheap loans because people feel you can't pay it back. So my own view will be, no, don't go and borrow. Allow the next government to make those critical decisions. What you should concern yourself with is the transition arrangements to ensure that at least the keys and the locks, you understand, remain when the president-elect gets into office.
So for Mr. President to be charging the Senate to approve the loans or loan, does it mean that they also see a reason why this should not even pass through, or this should, or what do you think the reason for the delay is, approval for this?
Some of them are more concerned with their transitional arrangements, how they will transit from a senator, substantive senator, to ex-senate. So, of course, they don't even have time for such. But I think the critical ones amongst them are asking the key questions that you and I probably are asking, that why in this late dying hour is government committing this country to so much?
Do you think Mr. President is owing some people?
I don't know that it's owing anybody. But what I didn't know, and I wanted to say before you came with that nice interjection, is that, remember Obasanjo, he made some fundamental decisions in his dying minute as president. He sold off the refineries. He, in fact, privatized, some would say privatized some federal government colleges. And what happened when Yaradua came in? The first day that he came in, he reversed it. So, let's hope that these decisions that they are trying to take are not decisions that will be reversed on the first day. And that would mean they wasted their time. So I think the senators are I've taken cognizance of that fact, that the president-elect or the new administration might reverse some of these things. I think this activism at the late hour, some would suggest that maybe there's some dodgy things going on. Some people going to get some money out of it, and some people going to get some perks out of the loans. I don't know, but there's something dodgy going on. That's my own assessment.
All right, a lot of concern as regards what the effect of, all of this borrowing will have on the,
economy,
incoming generations generations to come and all of that. Now, this, some have said that it's placing an undue burden on the posterity. I believe that you'd agree with that particular sentiment.
Yes, there's the economy. There's also future generations. Let's get it clear. You borrow to invest. There's nothing wrong in borrowing. So let's get that out of the picture. You borrow to invest. We are not borrowing to invest now. We are borrowing to consume. We are borrowing, you understand, for recurrent expenditure. And that is the problem that we have. So which means that the future generations you've mentioned, my grandchildren, your children, you understand, are going to be the ones to pay it back. But also the room for maneuver to provide for education, to provide for health, to provide further infrastructure, to do the things that they need to do, that the government needs to do, will be hampered by this loan, because it means you spend most of your time looking for money just to pay the money back. Right. That's the principle that has been established. So I'm hoping that when this government comes, a new government comes in, they'll find a way, because we need to increase revenue if we're going to sort this out. Or we need to reduce recurrent expenditure. Some suggest there's hardly any recurrent expenditure we can reduce. So we need to raise revenue.
As it stands, 96% of our revenue, that's what we use into service loans.
Very unhealthy situation. And no country can survive on that for too long. No country can survive. It means that every month we actually borrow. It means that our budget is unrealistic. It means that Nigerians don't really understand that we're living on borrowed times. When I mean borrowed times, I'm talking economically before somebody mistakes what I'm trying to say.
All right.
All right, Prof, let's touch on this particular one. It was a headline somewhere in some papers. It says Tinubu departs Nigeria Wednesday, that was yesterday, for Europe on working visit. He's scheduled to return shortly for preparations towards his official swearing in as the 16th president of the country on 29 May. Now, of course, this statement or this write-up also says that the president-elect will use the opportunity to meet with multi-sectoral European business people and including manufacturing and all of that. He's got a whole lot of things lined up. Now, my question is, does he have the capacity and authority to start to negotiate on business levels with European business communities, as he's not the president yet?
It's treasonable. It is treasonable. We only have one president, and the president is Muhammadu Buhari. His own presidency does not even begin to commence till the 29th of May. So this cock and bull story, I use those words very clearly, cock and bull story, that is going ahead, you understand, on a working visit, this and that. Let's just be honest with Nigerians. If it's going there, to recuperate or to get some further treatment, then we should be told. Right. But to say that...
Are you suggesting that they might have lied to us?
I'm suggesting that untruths have been peddled. I'm suggesting, after it's just come back, I think it's just come back from a long rest of 34 days. And I think his spokesmen are so embarrassed that they don't want us to know what he's going for in that sense. It's unprecedented. Nobody does it around the world. That a president-elect who has not been sworn in, that who has no capacity, who has no legal authority, goes around negotiating or goes around meeting multi-sectoral leaders on behalf of the country. First and foremost, it doesn't have the legal authority. Anything that he discusses, you understand, is subject to so many things.
What if
nobody's going to discuss with him.
What if he's just very eager to, get it rolling, to get to work? Exactly.
Then he should keep his eagerness up till 29th of May. He can start working in 3 weeks' time. He can drop his plans. He can meet with his aides. He can advance his plans with the present government. He has to work in tandem with the present government till the 29th of May. The 29th of May, until the 29th of May, the legitimate, the appropriate, and the relevant president of this country is Muhammadu Buhari. We cannot have two presidents at the same time, or otherwise we are going to have confusion. So I don't think that is what he's doing. I think it's a camouflage. I think his medical whatever are being shrouded in this press release that's come out. And I don't think it's progressive. It is not progressive to lie to Nigerian people. Right. I feel very strongly that we are being lied to.
Some Nigerians have started to, would I say, speculate that it seems like Nigerians might have been gifted another diasporan president. Would you agree?
Not. We hope not. We hope that all these are just blips. We hope that my position is far-fetched. We hope my position is far-fetched. But it's really becoming real, because he went for 34 days. Now he's going for another, I don't know how long, but it's certain that he has to be back before the 29th of May.
I mean, when he went for the first one, we weren't thinking that it would be this soon, that he'll go for another trip. That's, yes, of course,
it's too soon. And that's why people are asking the question. You remember when Obasanjo phoned Umaru in Germany, was in Germany then, that is it true they say you're not well? That was during the campaign.
Right.
I said, far from it, I'm fit as a fiddle. I can play squash, all that kind of dodgy stuff. And then when he came into office, what happened? We also had the same thing with Buhari to a certain extent. Buhari has spent so much, you understand, going abroad. The economy, not the economy, the I don't know, his ESTA codes, must have been racked up significantly. There's a time when the presidential jet, was actually based in United Kingdom because he spent so much.
Right.
Having been scarred by this experience, Nigerians deserve the right to know. They deserve the right to know what's happening with the president-elect. Some people say it's not our business. It is our business. Why? Because we pay his salary. It is our business. Why? Because he will live in Aso Rock.
Right.
He's in defense headquarters at this point in time. It is our business because he will become the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
All right, now, Prof, some contenders for the speakership positions within the House of Representatives, they come together under the G7 platform. That's what they're calling it, to express their rejection of the recent declarations of, persons who would be taking that position. Right now, a group of them that it's quite a long list. I can't exactly get into that right now. And yes, they're calling themselves the G7. After G5, now we have G7, Prof.
G this, G that. No, but what is important and what is significant here is that they are members of the House. They are the caucus. And they're important because the people that took the decisions are not the caucus of the House. In other words, it is right that the caucus, and what I mean by caucus is the members, those that have been elected, take the decisions on who is going to lead them. It is not right, you understand, for those from without, you understand, whether they be the working party or whatever we are describing, to take the decisions. It's not the right way to do. This House are going to have their own rules, they're going to have their own leadership, and the people that they want, you understand, they should rightfully be able to choose them. It's just like Nigeria. The only people that should choose the president of Nigeria should be Nigerians and not from people from without. The House of Representatives and the Senate are separate bodies and part of a separate branch of government. And I think it's in the interest of the APC, or indeed any other government, to allow them to sort themselves out and to choose. That is how you don't get a rubber stamp. Some people have argued, that we don't want an opposition parliament. Well, if you have an opposition parliament and they are reasonable, what's the problem? We need a critical friend, which means they are friendly with the executive, but they're able to challenge decisions on behalf of the Nigerian people. Right. I don't think that's a crime. I think when you challenge, you can go back to the drawing board and come back with something that is more reasonable and more substantial.
Unjust, unfair, inequitable. You feel that the choice for speakership from the APC is? Are you of that opinion?
Well, I don't know that it's unjust, unfair, or inequitable, the word you used, because there will be some people who say that having a ticket at the APC ticket, which was Muslim, was unfair. I think it depends on what you're looking at from that point of view. Some people will say that the fact that the Southeast is not going to have a principal officer in this dispensation, if you go by the zoning, the zoning, it's unfair. My own view at the end of the day is let the most competent person within it, you understand, be chosen, from that point of view. Because at the end of the day, we already have unfairness all over the place. So let's go for competence. And if competence is going to be unfair, I would rather go for competence. So I'm not sure that I necessarily subscribe to the fact that it's not equitable, it's not unfair, because there's a saying in law, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands.
All right. I don't know if we can quickly touch on the Global Terrorism Index. It has put Nigeria in the 8th position. Nigeria is currently occupying the 8th position in the 2023 Global Terrorism Index. Burkina Faso and Mali occupy 2nd and 3rd. Now, this is progress because reportedly we were at number 6 in 2022 according to the ratings. Would you say that the impact of terrorism in Nigeria continues to decline? Because it seems like we keep going. We're not as high as we used to be. And but there are also questions that as the giant of Africa, should we even be on this list at all? How far, how high, and all of that?
I think I'm going to question your assertion that we are the giant of Africa. Giant in what terms? The giant in terms of progress?
Are you
giant in
insinuating
terms
that
of
we're
population?
not the giant of Africa?
No, I'm insinuating, that is a term, or I don't know, a description which has been overflogged, and we have not much of substance to show for it. But to go to your point, we are making progress. Minimal, Well, it's still progress. But I would say that every life that is lost, every territory that is under the domain or under the territory of the terrorist is one that shouldn't be. The government is making progress, but it's nearly not enough. We need to make more progress. But I think it's heartening that we are making progress from that point of view. I'm hoping that the president-elect, I'm hoping that the new government will make further progress. So we must give it to Buhari government that they've made some progress. But having said that, you also realize that banditry and terrorism, it also shifts. For instance, some of them have shifted from Zamfara to Katsina. So sometimes it seems as if the terrorism is not being resolved; it's just being shifted around the states of Nigeria. So we want a situation where we don't just get a shift; we get total eradication of terrorism in all shapes, in all forms, and in every possible dimension.
All right, we'll take some commercials. When we come back, we'll be opening the phone lines. Stay with us.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
Oh boy, this your coffee?
Baba, I don't drink medicine tire.
Self-medication? No, nah.
Wetin I go do? Hospital money no be here.
When INT'L and AXA Mansard Health Plan dey. That's right. With the INT'L AXA Mansard Health Bundle, you get access to a doctor, medication, and hospital cover up to 100,000 naira. Dial *141*44# now to select the plan that suits you.
INT'L, the smartphone network.
32 FM Play and Win Show. Enjoy radio like never before. Radio that gives you more. Radio that makes you happier. Calling on your radio. Play some game and win some cool cash.
Let's do this.
Do what?
All I do is win, no matter what.
32 FM Play and Win Game Show. Every day from 2 to 2:30 p.m. on the Laughter Station, 32 FM 94.9. You are a listener. Get to call in on your radio. Play some game with Lumi and win yourself some fantastic prizes. I bet you don't want to miss this.
Techno celebrates your natural healthy glow without hiding your imperfections with a 32MP glowing selfie camera, G88 processor plus game turbo, hard-wearing stirring glass, and a 256GB plus 16GB large memory on the new Techno Spark 10. You will enjoy better mobile experience with bigger camera, among other upgrades. That's not all. Visit any Techno outlet to get the beautiful on-demand smartphone for your selfies and walk away with a Techno X Fireboy headset, up to 5GB data from MTN, and many more gifts. Techno, stop at nothing.
My friend, you don't buy new mattress?
Yeah, so they even dash me bag of rice join.
For real?
It is real. Buy any Mocha Flora or Mocha Wellbeing Regina mattress with 2 pillows and get a bag of rice free. Visit any accredited Mocha dealer nationwide to purchase. Offer valid while stocks last. Terms and conditions apply. Mocha, adding comfort to life.
Babe, how we want to pay for baking course? With small money where person they make.
Course? No be to sabi bake like pro. No worry, I get plan.
You get plan.
I get super binge plan.
For whatever you want to learn on YouTube, you need a plan like the INT'L Super Binge Plan. Simply dial *141*514# now to enjoy 2 GB of data and 1 hour worth of free YouTube data every day for just 500 naira.
INT'L, the smartphone network.
FM 94.9.
All right, and the phone line 0705 500949 and 0809 70949 to share your thoughts, your reactions this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm from the US. On the issue of Nigeria reaching on terrorists, there's no doubt that Nigeria is a terrorist country. One of the dangerous countries to. It's one of the countries that's giving the world problems of terrorism. That's not where I'm going. I want to pray that God will bless your analyst. He really gets it. Somebody that is not that's not taking the oath of office as we're going to negotiate on business ideas. I'm not that foolish. And we say all these things. I mean, somebody like my partner, okay, I know what is going on. I know what is going on. But I warn our people. I don't know why we deceive ourselves. We have so many people in this southern part of the country. But because of some people's stomach and selfishness, you know that if this person gets that where my stomach is going to food.
Okay, 0705 5949, 0809 7949. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. All right, let's hear you.
The budget office has warned that the federal government has fast exceeded its borrowing limit. Still yet, the federal government still want to borrow another $800 million from IMF, from World Bank. Why is it that this government don't have any other song than borrowing? I hope we are not mortgaging the life of unborn generation. On the issue of National Broadcasting Commission that struck out the 500,000 naira on the 45 broadcasting station. I hope they welcome development because NBC has no judicial power to be sanctioned the broadcasting station. Have a nice day.
All right, we're live on Facebook. It is facebook.com/32FM949 Ibadan. We're going to be reaching those comments in a bit. We'll take some calls first. Hello.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, the analyst in the house. Yeah, this morning I just want to appreciate Professor Ojedo. He's a lawyer and he's a lecturer on jurisprudence. But I like him for one thing, honestly. He doesn't sing the Lord song in a strange land. What do I mean? Like when he was analyzing, he said, there's a saying in the law that he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. He did not speak Latin to us. I think it will be better if he can just help us advise other lawyers so that they come to our level when they analyze him so that we can understand. I appreciate you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much. I'll just take some comments on our Facebook page. Omotayo Luartimi says, we must ask ourselves why we go to school if people only end up stealing so many billions. I am speaking in respect of the former power minister. Perhaps what we should do is scrap all our universities and only allow secondary schools in Nigeria. Do you want to react to that?
Hold on. The man hasn't been convicted. The man hasn't been convicted. It's just allegations. I know that we raised questions that the allegations are there in the first place, but I think that comment will be best served once the man is if he's convicted.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, everyone in the studio.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is John Olaruwaju from Agbohun. On the issue of elect president travel to France, though this ally claiming us that he traveled because of the Festus, which is not because of the work, which is not supposed to be so. If you are
All right, we lost that call. Do call us back. Michael Olufemi Oyibode says, good morning, Prof. I beg to disagree with you, sir. Bat has never acted as the president, and I don't think he has ever called himself the president nor acted as the president. He has never chaired the Federal Executive Council meeting or met any president in the world in the capacity of the Nigerian president. He can meet businessmen. I don't think anything is wrong with that. Hello, good morning.
Oh, I do try and call back 0705 5949, 0809 7949.
I think I have to interrogate that. In what capacity is he meeting these businessmen? Is he meeting them as a private citizen? Is he meeting them as a chairman of a conglomerate? Or is he meeting them as the prospective president of Nigeria? That is where I disagree.
0705 5949 and 0809 7949. Raji Afiz Abiola on Facebook says, good morning, Kenny and DENIKE. About seeking for the approval of another loan from National Assembly by President Buhari's administration. Honestly, this is barbaric. Another loan of tenor. Okay. This loan is for what? Upon all the loan they have borrowed in the past, and the National Assembly will approve it for them. These people are too wicked and not worry about the next generation. Honestly, the civil society and other concerned organization needs to stand against this move and prevent this administration from acquiring more loans at this point in time. God bless Nigeria. Thank you so much for your comments. Well, still live on Facebook, 32FM949 Ibadan. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Femi.
All right, Femi, good morning. Let's hear you.
Please, the
PDP chieftain that passed on. His name is Adagunodo, not Adagunodo.
All right, thank you for that. Okay.
Yeah.
0705 5000 949 and 0809 7000 949 to react to any of the stories this morning. Prof, there's this story about oil production now lower than 1 million, or how will I put it now? Oil production now 1 million barrels lower daily. So we used to produce a certain amount, but now we are 1 million barrels per day short. And they're attributing this low oil input to challenges like insecurity and investments and all of that. Where do you think all of this is headed? Are we going to see another reduction aside from what we're currently having, or you think that this will be tackled by the incoming administration?
It will be tackled by the incoming administration. We are supposed to be producing 1.8 million MP, what is called barrels per. It's per day or whatever. But we have an allocation with OPEC. We've not been able to fulfill it. And this will put a further dent on it if we are losing 1 million, as you suggested from that point of view. I think it's not just insecurity. I think oil theft, even though it's been managed, is also part of it. And I think it must be a priority because revenue, we are challenged in terms of revenue. If we cannot get enough revenue, then of course we'll need to borrow more and we need to cut down on some of the things that we're spending on.
All right, 0705 5949 and 0809 7949. There's a comment here. All right.
Let's take this one. Hello.
Please turn down the volume on your radio. All right, you have to call us back. Sulaiman Sharif says, good morning, 32 FM crew. Mr. President has less than 19 days to vacate from the office. The loan is not necessary at this moment after leaving a debt of 77 trillion naira for the incoming administration under the president-elect of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm speechless. Maybe it's retirement benefits. All right.
Prof, let's get your reaction to this other stories in the papers this morning having to do with 4 suspects who were arrested for allegedly shooting a header, Umaru Aliyu, to death. It's quite a gory one there. Apparently, this happened in Ogun State. Now, Amotekun Corps, the commander, has come out to, disclose this. And yes, that person has been arrested right now. A case of, taking laws into your hands and all of that. Yes, in spite of the security challenges and peculiarities as it concerns herders and communities, certainly not the way to go.
No, it's not the way to go. I think we should allow the law enforcement to do their job. We should thank God in the Southwest, we also have the complemented by the Amotekun. The danger of violence on that scale, when you take law into your hands, is that violence is an unending spiral that consumes both the practitioners and the victims.
All right. I think it's time for us to leave the studios right about now. Thank you so much for doing this with us, Professor Oluwajadoku. And thank you, dear listener, for always being here. My name is DENIKE Ademwako.
And I'm Kenny Druitilu. Good morning.